I wrote poems, I wrote songs, and things of that matter which were used by the boys and girls, and did much to promote what he was saying.
Edelweiss Park provided local artists with a regular platform for their talents. Many famous Jamaican entertainers began their careers at Edelweiss Park.
And we go by Edelweiss Park.
And we go by Edelweiss Park. When I see that place, I see only two people. After a while, the place crammed with people. I see Marcus. I take a lower seat. When I take the lower seat, I see Marcus's choir come out. And they dress in white, all of them. White shoes, white dress, white skirt, white hat. And them bodyguard, them come out dressed in black suit with a white braid, and them hat is black like a police hat, but with white braid. And after I see him bodyguard come out, I see two men come out with the sword, and them walk with the sword over Marcus's head. And Marcus step up on the pulpit, and he pass me. As me say, me ask for Marcus, and somebody say, "You know him, sir?" And when him say, "You know him?" me say, "Yes, man." And the woman sit down beside me and she say, "Yes, son." And we listen to all the service he had, a lovely service. Marcus Garvey did not content himself with creating a welfare and cultural organization in Jamaica. He said,
"From the moral, legal, industrial, economical, social, and political standpoint, there is no sensible reason against a system of government for Negroes by Negroes."
Well, Garvey decided that on his return from America to organize a political party, the People's Political Party. And its purpose would be to bring about the development of a country. For instance, among the things he had in mind was a university, which is a fact today, a polytechnic, which is not yet a fact. He had in mind that Montego Bay should become a city of corporate status. Port Antonio also. Montego Bay is today a city, but Port Antonio has not yet attained that status. He had in mind that there should be the workers, there should be a working day of 8 hours for the working man. Well, that came about eventually after he had passed on. We have today the labor unions. Garvey was foremost in promoting that too. There was a movement in connection all with the UNIA. Those things were part of the planks of what he was doing.
Garvey's followers had almost no chance of winning the local elections. Most of his followers did not have the right to vote. He was sent to jail again, accused of having insulted the judiciary. Garvey lost the election. Bitter and disappointed, he left for England, where he believed he would be closer to the real source of political power. Jamaica was still ruled by England at this time. In England, he published a newspaper, The Black Man, and from across the Atlantic, he tried to keep his American organization from crumbling. With a regular column in the UNIA's New York paper, The Negro World, he tried to hold the once powerful UNIA together. Without Garvey's charismatic presence, the infighting within the UNIA grew. While the Negro World saluted the nationalist movement led by Mahatma Gandhi in India, Garvey was bitter about the problems within his own ranks.
There is no doubt that the Negro is his own greatest enemy. He is jealous of himself, envious and covetous. This accounts for most of our failures in business and other things.
Another cartoon of the time showed the UNIA at the crossroads of its existence. Using a petition signed by thousands, the organization tried to persuade the U.S. government to permit Marcus Garvey to return to the United States. But the government remained firm in its refusal. One of Marcus Garvey's last sensational acts was his appearance at the League of Nations in Geneva. There he presented a petition demanding that the former German colonies in Africa be given to the black people of the United States and the Caribbean to settle and govern. No one took him seriously. Even Haile Selassie, the exiled Ethiopian emperor, refused to receive him. Garvey suffered a stroke in 1940 in London.
The thing that I remember most about him is his physical appearance. Broad, short, strong person, always dressed in a three-piece suit. And he always seemed to be in a three-piece suit. And giving us money for candy, that sort of thing. So it really was a child's memory of a father. And this was in England where we lived. And I went back to Jamaica because I was sick. I had arthritis in my right leg, and I was advised, my mother was advised, that we should go back to the warm climate. So we left in 1938. And that was the last I saw of him.
Marcus Garvey died on the 10th of June, 1940, in London. His last request was not to be buried in this strange land, but that his remains should be taken home to Jamaica.
There was a friend of mine and a member of the organization, Leslie Alexander, who expressed the desire that the body should be brought back to Jamaica. He told me that he would be going and trying to get it. But when he went on the first mission, he was not successful. Well, making a long story short, I wrote a letter and gave him, and he went on a second mission to England. When the body was brought, there was a claim that it was not the body of Marcus Garvey. So I said, well, the casket will have to go so that the people who know Garvey can identify him. Well, so it happened.
It remained to the first government of Jamaica, after the island gained its independence in 1962, to declare Garvey a national hero and to bring his body home. During his lifetime, Marcus Garvey was viewed with suspicion by the American government and the European colonial powers. Still, his ideas are just as radical today as they were then. The non-white people of the world are slowly beginning to realize that their future lies in closer understanding and cooperation with one another. Neo-colonial dependency can only be overcome through self-reliance and faith in one's own strength. Marcus Garvey always stressed the point that no nation can be independent in a true sense unless it controls its own economy.
I took part in the funeral, naturally. one of the bearers.